All right, here's a short video of the Explorer Sport Track. It's Sunday. I'm making this for you. I can't remember your name, I'm sorry, in Cleveland. I just wanted you to be able to get a look at this thing before you drive all the way here. I know it's a long trip, and I don't want you to feel that it's misrepresented or whatever when you get here. So here's the truck. I went out and started it, like I said when I texted you or messaged you. It hasn't been started in a couple of weeks. It fired right up. I lifted up the hood, checked the fluids. All the fluids are, pretty good. The levels are good. They're, they weren't low, or the coolant might have been a little tad bit low, but there's coolant there. The battery's actually got a sticker on it from February of 2019. It's one of those, AutoZone or Advanced Auto, brand type of batteries. So it's not a cheap battery. 2 years old. 65 series. It fired it right up, no problem. After sitting for a couple of weeks. It's a cold day today. It was 8 degrees this morning. I don't know what the temps were when I started this thing, but not much more than that. I crawled underneath. I wanted to check brake lines and stuff. I couldn't get a really good glimpse at them all the way through, but they don't look rusted out. I mean, I looked at those because you can see how rusty the rockers are. I just wanted to make sure like a brake line wasn't ready to pop, and I couldn't see all of it, but from what I could see, it still looks real good. Tires are like new. They're matching all the way around. Wild Trail Touring. It must be some type of an imported tire, but they're good all the way around. I just took it for a ride, and it drives good. You can hear the engine run, hopefully. Now, when I was under there, I noticed that the exhaust stops at the cat. The exhaust is missing from the cat back, but it's not extremely loud. But you'll have to have an exhaust put on it, I guess, or just drive it the way it is. It's not loud. The heat's working. The door handle's broken, so you have to come in, and the door's automatically locked, so I leave this window down so that I can open this door and reach up and grab the front door, get back in. Now, the other thing I noticed was the four-wheel drive isn't working today, so it's got to be cold related, because it worked perfectly the last time I drove this on a warmer day, which kind of sucks because you usually need it when it's snowy out, but there's got to be some kind of module or something that's got a temperature related flaw. Either that or this thing was sitting in snow and the actuator or something might have gotten packed with snow and it's just not moving. If you click this to 4 high, electronically it shows that it switched, but I'm not getting any front wheel traction. And when you switch it back, it takes a long time for it to switch back to two-wheel electronically, but it's still in two-wheel drive, so I don't know what's going on with that. But the four-wheel drive did work the last time I drove this truck a couple weeks ago, and it hasn't gone anywhere, so it's just got to be some type of an electronic issue. Trying to make this video short, and I should have turned the truck around so that we got back on the road instead of this snowy road before I started the video, but just bear with me. I'm gonna turn around and take it down the highway. I went on the highway for probably 3-4 miles to get where I'm at right now. No issues. The heat came on. The heat's working. It's warm in here now. I did notice that tire rubs when you turn. I don't know exactly what it's rubbing on. I will check that out. It's probably one of the plastic moldings or something that's falling or hanging loose because of the rotted out rocker, but I'll check that out when I get back. And then also I noticed that when you stop, you can feel some pulsation in the front brakes. That's most likely from sitting and driving the truck will wear those rotors back flat eventually. Probably take 100 miles or so to get that, of stop and go traffic, not 100 miles of driving without touching the brakes though. So all right, here we go. We're up to 30 miles an hour on a dirt road. There's no major clinging or clanging. I also saw underneath while I was looking at the brake lines and stuff, like I said, I didn't put it on the hoist or anything. I just crawled under there as best as I could on the floor. It looks like somebody's recently replaced the front sway bar links, so that's all nice and tight. The rubbers are not all rotted out, and the links aren't rusty. They're pretty recent, so all that's in good shape. I mean, it's a solid truck. I wouldn't be nervous about driving it from Michigan to Cleveland. Not at all. I mean, there's no radio, so you might want to bring your AirPods or whatever so that you have some entertainment. Or if you've got an old Ford radio, it would slide right in. I mean, the plugs are still there. You just got to plug it in and slide it in the dash, and you'll have sounds. But you know, it accelerates fine, and you can tell. Like I said, this window's still open. The exhaust is a little louder than it should be, but it's not obnoxiously loud. I don't think you have to worry about getting a fine or anything like that because of it. Personally, I would probably take it and spend a couple of, $100 or whatever to get a cheap exhaust put on it at an exhaust shop, but that's up to you. Get on the highway with it here. We're at about 45 miles an hour getting on a ramp. I have no problems with the steering or controlling the car. No shakes or anything like that in the steering. I mean, other than being rusty and ugly, a little bit ugly, this thing's pretty solid. I actually considered raising the price on this because we're getting closer to the time where people are going to be looking for cars because they've got income tax money, and I think this is a better truck than even 1300. But we'll leave it priced as it is for now for you, and we'll go from there. You can see I'm at 70, and I've got no problems. I'm hanging on the wheel with one hand and filming with the other hand. Let me roll this back window up. Get rid of that wind noise. But yeah, I mean, it's taking the road just like any other, older car would. It doesn't feel like a new Cadillac, but it's tolerable at highway speeds. Kind of disappointed to report that the four-wheel drive didn't work this morning, but like I said, a week ago, a couple weeks ago, the last time I drove it, it worked fine. So I'm sure that there's just some type of a minor little issue there that needs to be addressed, and you can have that working again. I don't think there's anything major there. It's got to be electronic. And who knows, once this thing gets warm, it might start working again. It might be because of the 8-degree temperatures. And coming around the curve, it holds the road good. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't make the drive back to where you're going, other than there's that shaking when you push on the brakes. Like I said, I believe that's the brake rotor's probably got a rust spot on it. I'll pull off to the side and see if I can see it and show you what it is. So I'd almost guarantee, I haven't looked at it, but I'd almost guarantee you'll see an outline of a brake pad from just where it's been sitting for so long and nobody driving it on the rotor, if we can see the rotor through the wheels. So yeah, the rotors are pretty rusty. I don't really see that outline that I'm talking about, but yeah, it definitely needs front brakes and rotors. They work. They'll get you home. Rock Auto, you can buy the stuff real cheap, probably rotors and pads for under $100 if you can do that kind of work yourself. No big deal, but it's still, they work good enough to get you home. And, you drive it that way for a while if you needed to. But we're almost at the 10-minute mark. I'm assuming that that's the majority of what you need to know about driving this thing back home. If you got any other questions, just ask me and I'll get you the answer. Thanks.